May I take this opportunity to thank you for allocating your precious time to engage on the issues that we've deposited in the public space. So I come to this House to respond to real issues. Madam Speaker, I was questioned by Member Msimang that I misled the House and even went further to call me a liar on the basis that we indicated in our State of the Province address that our investment of 220 billion public infrastructure is a lie. He even said this was said many years by many other people that came before. If you don't mind, Madam Speaker, I'm more than willing to unpack this to Member Msimang to disprove his allegations that I'm a liar and I'm misleading the people of Gauteng. The 220 billion projects are here. These are projects that come from national government, provincial government, and local government. They are costed, it's bridges, it's roads, it's everything. And because I've been accused to be a liar, I want to provide evidence that demonstrates that I didn't mislead South Africans. This is a public investment group, and we can give it. If we can give it to As I said earlier on, yes, because we're costing it. No. Madam Speaker, as I said, I don't engage in insults. I don't engage in insults because it has moved now from non-existence to 2 years ago. Because when people were here, they said it's not existing. They said that 220 billion was thumbsucked. Now when we come here to give evidence, we're accused that it's 2 years ago. It will be 2 years ago because we have been calculating and accumulating it so that we can make it available. Member Msimang came here, honorable members, and convinced me to understand why lie detectors are not admissible in court, because they can be manipulated. He came here to be a lie detector that can be manipulated because the evidence that he wanted in this House is the evidence that we've provided him. He came here and said, I've refused to give him reports, 170 reports. When I didn't refuse, I gave him the legal leeway on how those reports can be assessed because I don't have those reports. And I indicated I don't have those reports. And now I'm accused that I've misled South Africans and Kiposo Yamaka when I advised him in writing what to do. And I want to give him this letter again to refresh his letter and ensure that he can. Secondly, Madam Speaker, or thirdly, I was accused of lying when we went on the public platform that we are the one that signed an agreement with the SIU to fast-track not only the return of the money that was misused at Anglo-Ashanti, but also to fast-track the disciplinary hearing and to blacklist and to recover the money that was lost. On the 20th of February, SIU retrieved the following amounts of money from the following companies that involved in Anglo-Ashanti. Departed Training, 132 million. Makado Project, 118 million. Ikusasa Building, 89 million. NJR Products, 56 million. Tenga Holdings, 49 million. I can go on and on a demonstration that when we have evidence of corruption, we act and we track the money and we bring it back. And we didn't lie. I want to hand over another evidence that the money has been tracked, and you can give it to MEC. Member Msimang came here and said that you are chasing junior people. Never in my life that a DDG of a department is a junior person. Never in my mind that the CEO of institution is a junior person. But I know, and I want to quote, a person who can read but doesn't read is sinful because he's engaging in deliberate ignorance. Let me repeat it. A person who can read but that doesn't read, it's sinful because he's engaging in deliberate ignorance. That is what we have seen here, where people come here to try to paint a picture that Gauteng is not a favorite destination of many other people that want to invest in our province. There are many people who came here and presented, there are many speakers who came here and presented as if our province is collapsing and no one has an interest. I want to quote that we are the home of many events that are conducted in our country. And those events are held here in Johannesburg. We had 2 provinces that were shortlisted to host the G20. It was the Western Cape and Gauteng. And after thorough analysis of infrastructure capability, after thorough analysis of our aviation industry, after analysis of our hospitality industry, after thorough analysis of our retail shop, the choice was obvious, and that choice was Gauteng. And some come here and say this province is collapsing and this province is not responding to the issue of work. And I want to advise you, Member Msimang, you will better be a warrior in a garden than be a gardener in a war. Because if you are a gardener in a war, you will be killed. And you can insult me. I listen to you. Madam Speaker, once more, my parents advised me, and I'll adhere to this advice of my parents because I am what I am today because of them. And they said to me, never argue with an idiot. Others watching might not be able to tell the difference, because if other people were given an opportunity to debate undisturbed, when we respond to their issues, they fall low in terms of insults. I don't want to be part of that kind of debate, and I'll rather leave all the issues, Member Msimang, because I thought this house is about mature debates. I thought this house was about to debunk lies that you are accused of. I thought this debate is about the issues that have been raised, and therefore, if we respond and you interject, and if we respond to issues you don't want to listen, maybe there is no need for us to relate to those. Member Msimang, whether you like it or not, we pointed out to you the stars and the vision of this province. All you saw was the fingertip of my finger, not the vision that we have painted. It is truly sad. It is truly sad when someone who has all the kinds of educational opportunities chooses not to read our speech. Of course, there are some with reading challenges like dyslexia, a person who reads backwards instead of reading the issues that we have presented to them. If all the issues that we have presented, I want to assure the people of Gauteng, I want to assure you, the people of Gauteng, we have not misled you. We presented issues like we have done before. And I want to go through those issues. There are some members that said the issue of bringing all law enforcement agencies under the leadership of the South African police is unconstitutional. What a misleading statement. Every Thursday in this province, for the last 7 years, we've been having a campaign called Ukai Molao, which is a combination of law enforcement agencies under the direct supervision and leadership of the SAPS. What we have done in this administration was to legalize it through a document that we have agreed with you. So to say it's unconstitutional, it's baseless. It's not an answer to the issues that our people expect us to deal with these issues. Secondly, Madam Speaker, we are told that if they are in charge, everything will be okay. We are told if they are in charge, everything will be okay. We gave them an opportunity to run a municipality called Swan. In 8 years, they had almost 5 mayors. In 8 years. And in 8 years, they had 5 mayors. And in that 8 years, they moved the finances and the audit arm of that municipality from unqualified audits to a disclaimer. From an unqualified audit to a disclaimer. And under your leadership, Member Msimang, it was worse that a audit outcome by the Auditor General said that they could not even account for 1.7 billion of electricity in that municipality. We can share, that I'm saying, we can share it with you, that information. Madam Speaker, when people enjoy the limelight of television and radio to paint a bad picture about our government and our presence, when they come here so that we can respond on our own, they can't even stomach our answers. They can hide behind accusations and they can hide behind insults. Our mission is very clear. We are prepared to be subjected to any form of test, and I'm challenging those that are on our left to appoint any independent institution to verify all the issues that we've put in our threats, so that we can demonstrate that everything that we have painted there, we have indeed not only costed it, we have double-checked it, and we've got all the relevant information that was presented to us. Madam Speaker, they tell us that where they govern better. I want to take just one example, something that is very important in our lives, the education of our children. The province of Western Cape has moved in the last 4 years from being number 2, number 3, number 4, they are now number 5 in the quality of matric results in our country. A demonstration that indeed where they govern, not everything is so rosy. where they govern, they could not even respond to the education challenges of our children. And I'm surprised in this particular house, they can't even stomach and appreciate that a child from a township got 299 marks in mathematics out of 300, and a child from the township was the best student, including former Model C schools and other schools in our country. It is not what they expect, and it's not what they can accept. Member Msimang come here to say, to approve and implement Bella, it means a child from Hammanskraal must take a taxi, a train to access education in our province. Member Msimang, you are so wrong. Go to Centurion. There is no public school there. All the schools that are there are African schools that are denying a child that is staying opposite the school to access that school because they are not speaking the language of that particular school. And this will change whether you like it or not, whether it's your minister, that is the Minister of Basic Education, the Basic Amendment Education Act will work in our province, and we are ready as a province to implement the Basic Amendment. I can also give an example, thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, to also demonstrate the issue of access to education, I want to give an example of a school called Hoërskool Menlo Park. This is a school that is separated by a fence to the University of Pretoria. We all know at the University of Pretoria, you've got lecturers, you've got workers, you've got staff members who are denied to have access to education so that they can take their children to a school that is closer to where they work at the University of Pretoria because they are speaking a wrong language. And Menlo Park Hoërskool must be for the privileged few, and it can't be open for all. It will change in our province, and it will be opened to all that needs to. So you don't need a taxi from Hammanskraal to implement Bella. You don't need a train for people to have access to education. And the message is simple. All our schools in our province belong to all our children and all our parents. There is no single parent that will monopolize and exclude other parents' access to education on the basis of those that think that they have the birthright to our education system. If we can watch rugby together, why not allow our children to be in the same class together? And this we will defend, whatever it takes. Member Bosch, I sometimes don't like it when people speak to us in this house as if we are their garden boys and madams. I don't like it. It was quite clear that when you raised your voice against me to say I must listen to you on the subject that you were saying, as if I was not listening to everyone. There've never been anyone in this house, when they were speaking, they felt that I didn't listen to them. I take serious exception. If this is how you treat your garden boys, I'm not your garden boy. It will never work. It will never work that way. It will never. I don't use insult. No, it's not. It's not an insult. You can listen to the tapes, what she said to me. You can listen to the tapes. Let me appreciate Member Adams, the issues that you have raised about your communities. But let me appreciate you on the issue of inequality. It is quite clear that you understand what we need to do. Those that have oppressed us want us to forget that they oppressed us. Those that denied us access want us to forget that they denied us access not only to facilities and institutions, but they even undermined our human rights. Today, they feel they can stand tall on equality and access. And I want to thank you, Madam the Chair of Chairs Adams, Bishop Adams, for clearly stipulating this matter. But I want to dispute your end point that you are ignoring a certain community called colored communities. In this State of the Province address, we have made it clear that there are houses that are owned by the government that I have the honor to lead, that we are willing to release those houses to that community. In the State of the Province address, we acknowledge the investment that we've made in Tukoms and other areas about the bakeries and the number of bread that are producing that we'll buy as government in our schools and other things. In this State of the Province address, we've made a commitment, and I'm glad you were at the center of that. When we recruited people for the traffic wardens and we could not recruit people from the colored communities, we deliberately went, identified them, and today as we speak, they are part of the workforce of this government. Is this exclusion, Bishop Adams? I know you're a man of cloth. You will never accuse me of misleading this particular house. I move to appreciate that a bird will always use another bird's feather to feather its own nest. And it is quite clear that from the leadership of MK Party, that there are issues that we share and agree together. But I want to dispel any myth that we want to sell our assets or privatize our assets. Our commitment, and that's what we said, is that the facilities that we have at our disposal that are underutilized, we can't keep them underutilized and pay money for security, whereas we can make it available to our communities. That's our standpoint. And we really believe this is a process that can assist us to attend and to live with the issues that have been raised. Member Tichach, I'm glad that you know that this particular province inherited some economic benefits. And I'm excited that you are the only one that indicated that aspect. The good thing about those that understand that they were economic inheritance is the ignorance that was also apartheid inheritance. And that the economy of this country and the economy of this province included the sufferings of mine workers that went down there to make this economy to be what it is today. And we'll never, therefore, find any mechanism to exclude anyone in the economic development of our province. And therefore, any argument that what we have done in our province was inherited, there've never been new improvement, is misleading. In this province, there was no Mall of Africa. There was no mainland Maine. There were no many other areas, including the stadiums that we've built that are around this area. There were no new developments in the areas and the era that you are putting up. The development of Gauteng is a combination of the three spheres of government, and no one can argue and debate that aspect. We come here to also respond to those that always doubt us and call us names. No matter what you can say, in everything that we do, we have a team that is led by people that are diligent and committed. And indeed, Member Ngobeni, you can raise all the issues that we've raised. It is the relationship that we've developed with our political party in Tshwane that have turned Tshwane around. It's something that has demonstrated that those that were working in that municipality, they didn't know what they were doing. So our approach is very simple. Our approach is very simple. We'll not throw insult. We'll appreciate the work that is done, even if it's done by political parties that don't work with us. As long as our people benefit, as long as there is service delivery in our communities, we'll appreciate that particular work. And for that, we want to thank you indeed, Your executive mayor and the deputy mayor of that municipality are people that we can work with. I'm glad Member Ali wants to drag me to sponsor shops and many other things. When we have spoken about the SEZ and the number of jobs that they've created, I will not underestimate the importance of small business. And I'll be the first one to accept if there are limitations and gaps there. We have presented statistics of how much, especially the Premier's office, that is spent in township businesses. It's quite clear that these annual reports that we published annually are not read or people are ignoring them. If I challenge you, Member Ali, to go to the annual report of the Office of the Premier alone and check how much we have invested in township businesses as the Office of the Premier alone, it will provide you with the answers that you are looking for. I'll honestly be disappointed, Member Ali, when I'm referring you to the information that you are requesting. And when I respond to it, you respond in the manner that we are doing. We have never disrupted you when you speak. We have never disrupted you. Even when we were journalists, when you answered or you asked us questions. No. When you asked us questions, I've never insulted her. She was a journalist. But she was a journalist. Member Msimang, I want to emphasize the point that she's skilled enough to differentiate between friction and reality. And I'm using her experience in a previous responsibility. I've never issued an insult. I'm saying in a professional life where she asked questions, we provided answers. In the era that we are in, the annual report of the Office of the Premier, not all the departments, has clear stipulation of the money that we spend to support small businesses. And therefore, anyone that comes here and speak about the long and short of our conduct and characters is purely unfortunate. And that's the reason why I don't even want to state the figures. Those figures are available within our annual report. Member Alberts, thank you so much. You know, me and you, we differ a lot in terms of our political outlook. I will never support those that are in the same corner with you, who, as I'm speaking now, they are in America, insulting the integrity of this country. I will never support those that are given an opportunity to present alternative ideas about Bella. They organize a march wearing the color orange. I will never be in the same corner with those that you work with that are glorifying the apartheid flag. I'll never be in the same corner with those that you work with who believe that we don't deserve to be recognized as human beings in our own country. So the investment that you are talking about, Member Alberts, foreign investment, it must be investment that must benefit everyone. It must not be an investment like those that are in America now, who believe that they need their own settlement and they need to be protected from other human beings. There, Member Alberts, where you do good, I'll appreciate it. But when it comes to racism, don't stretch our understanding. Racists are mindless, racists are useless, and racists think they can think on our behalf. There is no one who can dictate to us in our own country where we must live, where we must sleep, and where we must go. We don't agree to that. Indeed, we'll listen to voters, Member Alberts, but we'll never listen to voters who want to take us backward. We'll listen to developments, but we'll never listen to developments that we are quoting from Taiwan. We will listen to those that are willing to build a better South Africa, and we want to congratulate and thank fellow South Africans, regardless of race, who stood together to denounce that the AfriForums and solidarities of this world are misleading the world about issues that are happening in our country. And it's unfortunate that your political party has not condemned those organizations. Let me come to you, the leadership of the EFF. It's just unfortunate the person that raised issues as your leader is not in the house. Maybe I must not waste time. Madam Speaker, let me dispel this myth that indeed you are misleading people about the issue of water in our province, which is the matter that has been raised. We indicated there are 2 pumping stations that have been giving us problems. Member Msimang went further to say we don't have a problem of water here, we have a problem in infrastructure. The reality is the media statement that was released by Rand Water, Member Msimang, stipulates that demand supersedes supply. It's not us. And therefore, we have been monitoring this situation, and I want to once more thank the convener of this subcommittee or war room, MEC Mamabulo, that we are joined by the Minister of Water on the 1st of March to finally deal with the issues of the 2 pumping stations so that we can finalize them. And if the minister is coming to identify them, it is quite clear that our diagnosis was the one that was correct. And on Saturday, we'll be with the national minister on this issue. I want to conclude by appreciating all those that have presented arguments to represent what and where we are taking this province. Member Mutara, Gentile, Member Makubela, Member Letsualo. It's only a moving car that people will park at it. Any other thing, you will find any other thing, it's nothing else but wishful thinking. I want to present to this once more, Member Bosch. The politics of the ANC and the establishment of the provincial task team has nothing to do with the DA. And the ANC does not have a branch called the DA. And the DA will never dictate terms to the ANC and try to want to be something that you are. And it must be clear, all the statements that were said and uttered here by members of the DA, it's nothing else but a bitter pill that they are not part of this progressive government. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.